Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Planet Film Network. I'm one of your hosts, Sean Monk.
And I'm brother TJ Cornwell, and welcome back to another episode of, I believe this would be called PF Reviews Planet Council almost, or Planet Council Reviews, or Planet Council.
Yeah, something like that. It's we're I think we're branding it as a another installment of Planet Council. So in the thumbnail it says episode 10, but like we said on the live show, I think a week or two, maybe 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
um, we've just been seeing that the long form live shows, I think we just don't have enough of an audience to build up on the ancillary ones. But the main Planet Film Live obviously has been doing good for us. So we tried to we're gonna try and switch it up a little bit and do some shorter form Planet Hero and Planet Council stuff. For kind of a couple reasons, because the longer format, it's more of a time commitment on me and TJ, especially with being on the weekends. And also, we're about to be in a phase where that we haven't been before, which is we're gonna have new Star Wars content and new Marvel content, both in the same week, for many weeks coming up here. Because very, very soon, it's not on yet, but very soon we're gonna have Bad Batch and Loki overlapping every single week. So we wanted to take it more short form so that it's not this huge time commitment. Because obviously, me and TJ have our regular jobs as well. So we want to kind of do that, and just see how it goes. So yeah, we're aiming for hopefully like around like 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll just see how they do and see where we go from there. So let's go ahead and dive right in. We are reviewing episode 2 of the Bad Batch, titled "Cut and Run." Little pun in the name there, for something we're about to talk about. What were your initial thoughts, would you say, on the episode?
It was a pretty good episode. I watched this Saturday morning, so I didn't like stay up, or I did catch it all on Friday. Yeah, I thought it was a good episode. I didn't think it was as good as like the previous one, which of course was obviously like an hour and whatever,
Yeah,
15
it's like
minutes or
almost a
something like that.
movie.
Yeah. I liked it. But I think maybe that's I don't know. Like I think it's just like a good second episode. Um I think you get a little bit of development obviously with Hunter, and then the character that we meet again, that we saw in Clone Wars. Um and then maybe kind of, getting to see like cuz when we saw that character in Clone Wars, he didn't have kids, right? Did he even have a
Uh,
family? It was just him?
no, he did, but they were
Okay.
much younger.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because it was very early in the Clone Wars, I think, which doesn't
Yeah.
really make total sense to me because sometimes they play around with it, like because like you think the Clone Wars were only lasted 3 years,
Hmm.
so how are his kids like 10? But that's
Fair.
just the charm of Star Wars, where sometimes they just don't really. They're like,
Yeah.
well, some things like that don't really matter. Aging in
Yeah.
Star Wars is kind of a certain point of view,
Hmm.
type thing. If we're
Yeah.
being honest.
I liked how we got the whole like kind of chain code thing, how we're looking at, what things
Yeah.
the Empire is implementing and stuff like that. I do kind of wish maybe we got like a cutback to Crosshair to see like what he's up to. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, we didn't get him
I
at
think
all.
that would have been kind of cool because obviously it is titled The Bad Batch,
Hmm.
but
But he is still
he
technically
is
is
still
one of
part
them.
of,
Yeah.
and I did think at the end when are we doing spoilers? Does it matter? Like,
Um.
or should I just be
Let's
like
just give our
initial
star
thoughts?
rating, and then we'll circle right
Okay.
back to what you were just about to say at the end.
Okay. I'll probably give like star rating. I'll probably give like 4 out of 5.
Yeah, so I very similar. I was like, it was a very good episode. It was very entertaining. I think it was just as entertaining as any, Clone Wars, as any kind of mid-level, mid to
Yeah.
high level Clone Wars episode, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, it's no Meeber Gascon with the droids in the desert. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
it's not
Oh,
that. It's not
yeah.
the pinnacle.
Yeah, like
Um,
you might consider this filler if it's like,
yeah.
looking back,
Hmm.
maybe when the series is over, looking back, you might say like, oh, that was kind of filler, but
You know what this strikes me as? This episode 100% felt like it could have been an episode of The Mandalorian. It was
That's what I yes,
them
yeah.
helping. It's one of those things where I think a little Favreau rubbed off on a little Filoni,
Mhm.
and I think this is one of those episodes that people might be like, all right, well, nothing really happened. Like, what the hell? And then like the last episode, it's gonna be like, oh, but that fifth forged chain code that you forgot about.
Mhm.
Here it is. Like it's do so or like something like that. You know what I mean? We have got to learn, and I think we have learned after season 1 of Mando that everything is for a reason, even if you don't know what that
Mhm.
reason is right away. So yes, I think if this is your very first Star Wars experience, you might be like, okay, what the hell is this? Like, is like
Mhm.
this is like you said filler. Um, but if you know kind of the flow of how the shows have been going, you'll know that everything happens for a reason, unless you're the Martez sisters. But
Oh my
no,
god. Yeah, it's not like they they started someplace and they're back the same place they started.
yeah.
Like it's not that egregious, but yeah, it's definitely I also when the whole like ending part or what's your star rating? Sorry. I cut you
Oh
off.
yeah, yeah. I'd give it like a 4 out of 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically like this is all spoilers by the way now from here on.
Yes, full
Um
spoilers to the end.
at the end with like when Cut tells Omega to go or sorry, not Cut. When Hunter
Hmm.
tells Omega to go with Cut and the family and stuff like that. I thought it was they were taking the Mandalorian route and they still are.
Hmm.
But when she almost got on that transport, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of like a interesting because
Flip.
then it's kind of like where are we going from this now because this
Hmm.
is clearly, some an integral part of the show.
Yeah.
So where were they going with this character? I thought that was interesting.
Where did you know she wasn't going with them? Was it when she showed back up, or was it when they had that very obvious pause with the mother, where she was like, "Omega, let's go,"
Yeah, and they went,
and then it cut? Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I was like, all right, that was a little telegraphed, but
Yeah.
at the same time, we gotta keep in
Yeah.
mind too. These shows are aimed at like
Kids.
not like at teenagers, but they're for adults and kids. Like
Mhm.
they have to be in that range.
Mhm.
So you got to always keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Whereas I would say the Mandalorian, yes, it still caters to kids, but it is much more of an adult aimed show. This I think is a big 50-50. It's adult
Mhm.
and for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked how when Omega and the two other kids are like playing with the ball, and they like throw the ball to her, and she just like stands there,
And
and they're
she was like,
like,
"What is it?"
you're supposed to catch it,"
Yeah.
and I liked how they kind of show that she's like. I mean, even they show it when they first touched on the planet that she's like scooping up dirt, and it's like, what,
Yeah.
what is this? I like how it's showing that she's very out of touch with what is actually going
Yeah.
on. Have we ever seen that like other than in Attack of the Clones? Have we ever seen that like that tiger slash thing before?
No. No,
Other
the
than
only
Attack of the Clones,
yeah, just like in the arena and then this. Yeah.
than
Which I
this.
don't even know
Okay.
if it was the exact it seemed like it was like a cousin of it or something cuz
Oh,
I
okay.
think it had more eyes or more feathers or something. I don't
Yeah.
know, but it was definitely the same like species for sure. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it
It's
might be
got
like a
like I think it's got
crocodile
4 eyes.
alligator
Yeah.
situation. Um but yeah, I mean if that thing came at me, I mean it gave who fought that? Which one fought that one? Oh yeah, that was Padme's, right? Yeah.
That was Padme.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it gave Padme a scare. I mean, it definitely is gonna scare the crap out of Omega, or
Yeah.
Omega as she calls herself.
Seems like they're doing this thing again too with this show. I mean, I feel like they do this with every Disney thing.
Yeah,
The show that they've been making is that the run if it says like 28, it's actually like 24 minutes, and then
yeah.
like 4 minutes of credits. Which has it always been like that? Like, has stuff always that Disney? I mean, in general, I feel like usually things are pretty like,
Hmm.
um, I don't know, true to their runtime. Like, I always feel like it's like, it's just shorter.
Yeah, I think it's just because you have. I think it's because you see the runtime of the episode as what's this one? Exactly 30 minutes. 30 minutes and
Yeah.
13 seconds. Then you take a minute. You take a full minute
Mm.
of recap and title sequence. And then, or no, I'm sorry. You take 40 seconds for recap and title sequence, and then it ends at 26:40. Yeah, so it's exactly 30 minutes, but you're losing 4 minutes to credits and intro, which I think is something that, you know, we just got to get used to. And I think it's something that maybe people don't pay as much attention to on other streaming services. I'm not really sure. Because, like, you look at something like on Netflix, and if it says, like, 40 minutes or something, right? Like, it cuts away. Like, as soon as the credits start, it's like, oh, here's a new thing to do. I feel like maybe people are just paying attention to it more on Disney Plus. Because
Yeah.
that content, like, we want the content so much, like, whereas, like, Netflix, like, the biggest thing you'd get hyped for is, like, maybe, like, Umbrella Academy, or, like, back when,
Right.
like, the Marvel shows had that, you know what I mean, that kind of thing.
When they were getting on the transport, did you think they were going to take Cutaway? Or did you like, he's getting on? Even that he's getting stopped, you know?
I thought maybe it would be one of those things where, if anything bad were to happen, I think it would be his family would get out, but he would get taken, and then maybe next episode would be them, like, breaking him out or something. Something like that. But I actually liked the way that it wrapped up. I also liked the fact that this was kind of them learning not just how to take care of a kid, but how to kind of be more of a parental figure to a kid, and not just treat her like Cut says, like, she's not a soldier, she's a kid,
Right.
and, like, you
Yeah.
need to treat her that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, what were your thoughts on? Oh yeah, sorry, go.
I do find her. I don't know if it was. I think it was more in this episode. There's some things where I just found her like a tad annoying. It's like,
Oh
can you
really?
just shut up for like 2 seconds, please? Like, which I heard. I never had that with Ahsoka. I know that was like a big thing coming out of the movie. Was that like Ahsoka was just this annoying, like, you know, younger Padawan, like, you know, just like shut up. Which I don't know
Yeah.
if that's how I didn't. That's not how I felt, but I've heard that's like that was like a thing. But I'm sure like she'll grow on me as time goes on. But there were a few moments where I was just like, stop
A little over
talking.
the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I felt the same way. There was definitely a couple moments where I was just like, all right, like, yeah, she's cute, like, she's being, like, you know, cute with the story and with
Yeah.
Wrecker and everything, but then there's just some moments where I'm like, all right, like, can we, like, come on, like, let's rein it in a little bit here. But at the same time, you know, it's one of those things where it's a kid, like, it is somewhat aimed at kids and stuff, but yeah. One thing I just want to say before we wrap up too is I loved the scene, the little you know, kind of scene where Tech and Echo were kind of, you know, teaming up to infiltrate the thing and then get the forged chain codes and stuff. I thought it was a really look at, I don't want to say powers, but like Echo's new abilities, right? I thought it was really really cool with that he was just kind of like it shows he is part droid now,
Yeah.
as much as, you know, he doesn't want to be, but he's the good kind of droid. He's like part
Yeah.
R2, not part battle droid. But
Yeah.
also I just want to say I really love Echo's new outfit when he's all you know, helmeted up and stuff. I love his little skirt, part of his
Yeah.
costume. I really really like the look of that.
The other thing I wanted to say that it just occurred to me because I'm just kind of skipping through the episode here. Can we, when they're walking in the town, can we get Hunter like a hat or something? Like, the dude
Yeah.
is literally just like all out there with his like bandana on with a skull on it. It's like,
Yeah.
can we get him some sort of like, you know, something to make him discreet?
It's like most of the clones. It seems like most of the clones know who Clone Force
Know who
99
they
is. Yeah.
Right.
It's like, but yeah. And then also, like, when the one clone says, like, to Echo, he's like, hey, what are you doing down there? And it's like, you don't recognize, like, the bad bet. I don't know. It's like, because, like, sometimes they walk the line of sometimes, like, all the clones are like, oh, you guys, and then
Yeah.
but then in Clone Wars season 7, Rex was like, all right, who are these guys now? Like, or no, sorry, Rex knew them, but like the other people in the 501st didn't. So I don't know. It's very confusing
And
sometimes.
there was a Rex name drop in the beginning of this episode as
Oh
well
yeah, absolutely.
by Cut, which
Yeah.
I actually thought when they meet up with him, when they meet up
Mhm.
with Cut, I actually did think that was interesting because I felt like we had established that the only one that knew about him was Rex.
Yeah. And this is like they're
So
closer with him than Rex is.
yeah,
Like there's like Uncle Wrecker and stuff. You know what I mean? Like they're
right,
like
right,
super close.
yeah.
So yeah. So where right now? Where do you think we're going next episode? That'll be what we end
Yeah,
on.
because there's
What do
no
you
like
think we're getting?
cliffhanger or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. It just ends
Um,
with a nice, heartfelt conversation with Hunter and
right.
Omega.
I think
Do you think we're
maybe
getting maybe
we're
Rex?
maybe I think that would
Hmm.
maybe come a little later.
Yeah.
I think maybe we're looking for a way to because they know that why Crosshair is the way he is now, right? Like they
Yeah. They
know
know
why
about
he's
the
kind of
inhibitor chips. Yeah. We
yeah. So
also learned that.
maybe they try to figure out a way to kind of unturn him like that.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
I,
maybe there's a chance that we will get the whole point of this show is undoing Order 66.
yeah.
Because we never find out in Rebels how Gregor and Wolf are fine again with
Hmm.
Kanan and Ezra. Um, what if it's not that Rex found them and took their chips out and they were okay like people
Hmm.
thought? What if it's that all the clones got reversed?
Right.
Like I think that would be very interesting. Cuz right now like it's basically all the clones are Order 66 like they're stormtroopers. Like they're not clone troopers anymore. Like they are it literally didn't just say like kill the Jedi. It was like kill the Jedi and now you have no personality. Like all your personality is gone. But clones that we've seen later on, even ones that we would assume did commit Order 66 have shown like personality and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe somehow maybe that'll get reversed. I'm not sure.
I also think this show needs to address why we got rid of clones.
Yes. Yeah. I think this show is leading up to a clone uprising type thing.
Yes, or
Clones.
something like that. Or
I think maybe the series finale of the show is going to be a Star Wars: The Battle of Camino. I think that's what we're
mm,
going to build up to. Because
that'd be interesting.
the latest mention of Kaminoans came from the Hondo book, Pirates Plot or Pirates. I can't remember what it is, but Pirates Ploy or something like that. Gosh, I wish I could remember the name. But he says basically in effect, and this is taking place during the sequel era. This is Hondo talking to like Poe and all of them. I think it's Poe, but it's during the sequel era. But he's talking about back in this time period, like the Bad Batch, Solo, that kind of time period. And he was like, oh yeah, and I saw a couple of those, Kaminoans, and you don't really see much of them anymore after what happened. So
Hmm.
it's like there's clearly something that happens. Obviously, we've known that before, but I think we're
Right.
finally going to get it explored in depth in the end of this show, which I'm definitely looking forward to.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that was kind of our thoughts on episode 2 of the Bad Batch Cut and Run. Let us know, what did you guys think of the episode? You could tweet at us. You could use the hashtag Planet Council, hashtag Bad Batch. Obviously, let us know. And you could tweet at us directly at Planet Film Net. Be sure to check out the merch store in the video link description, and then you can follow me at Paste Eating Yak.
And then you can follow me at TJ_Cornwell on Twitter or Instagram. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you thought of the episode 2 of The Bad Batch and maybe where you think this season or next episode's going.
Mm-hmm.
And we will see you next time.
Bang. Take it easy, everybody.